All right, we're live. Hi, everybody. Hey, Monica, and hey to all of your amazing plants. Um, yeah, we've been doing these um I can never go live on Instagram and talk at the same time. Okay, we're all set. We've been doing these what is an X-Men conversations, which is fun because it's not a question that can be answered, which is exactly the point. That's what an X-Men is a question that can't be answered. And I felt that it was not complete. Well, it never will be complete, but we needed to have some Monica love here in this conversation because you are like just one of my favorite, most delightful X-Men, and it's just always so fun. You always have such a unique and brilliant perspective on things. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Monica Gilliam, access facilitator, plant whisperer, everything whisperer. One of well, Dane here's main oracle and Dane whisperer. Yeah, so you and your plants, what you guys got?
Well, we are
Oh my God.
repotting the orchids. I was gonna say this is what an X-Men's brain is like.
Totally. So good.
Like everything, but I know where everything is. But it looks like a mess, but I love it and it works. So
That's so great.
yeah. So I'm repotting orchids.
That's awesome. And that's like a capacity that you have while talking to plants, being like, and not talking to them only, listening to them is a lot of what you do.
Yeah.
And having a communion with them that is really beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a gift it is to be on this planet with plants that are so generous and like feed us and nurture our bodies and take care of us in so many ways that we often overlook, but we are incredibly fortunate, and we wouldn't have the bodies that we have without them. We wouldn't be able to be here without them, and then they just are so kindly being with us with all of our insanity.
So true. Yeah. I've heard myself say more than once, the trees are the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that
Um,
generosity.
yeah. It's like whenever I'm wonky, or even when I'm not, I love being with the trees and just, I don't even have to touch them, but sometimes touching them is really nice too. But just being with them and receiving from them. I've got these massive trees right out I'm in this is my greenhouse. Um,
Woohoo! Wow.
so it's my little sunroom. But yeah, just it's like having that energy is to me, like such a reminder of what I am, what my body is. That I think X-Men really, um, I think it's one of the things that kind of fucks us up is when, living in a world that doesn't acknowledge the earth and the plants and the trees and the nature spirits and all of that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I would say it's being so aware and living in a planet where not everybody's speaking to everything. So it's like it's funny because with this whole topic of X-Men, like, it was only when I got into Access that people were like, "Did you know that you were autistic?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? I did well in school."
Me too.
Like, what do you
Yeah.
what do you mean? And just slowly realizing that I have a very different way of functioning with my awareness. And in the past, it was not functioning so well with my awareness, um, being kind of overwhelmed by taking in so much information and not really being educated on the fact that like some people aren't willing to be aware, and that I could be aware of their unwillingness to be aware, and like what, what do I do with all of that? But then slowly having this kind of recognition and allowance of how differently I function from others, so that I could stop trying to look to somebody else for like the way to be,
Mhm.
and step into like exploring, well, what are the ways that I be? What are the ways that I function that are such a delight and are so different that I can actually use to my advantage, like working with plants. I don't require them to say, "Hey, would you water me?" with their mouths to like know, oh, that one needs some water, that one doesn't, but just to be able to use my awareness and to see it blossom has been such a gift, and more recognizing what it is to be an X-Men, what it is to be hearing so much, and how to use that. That has been
Mm,
a huge gift for me.
that is so cool. Well, and so much of what we hear, I mean, we don't know that we hear it, and until you start playing with these tools, same with me. I was like, I'm autistic? Like what? Like same. I was like, I did great in school, like I never had a problem with any of that stuff, So I was just like, yeah, I'm just normal, Um, and then I started looking at it and learning what autistic actually meant, like not even what it means, but just like the universe that it is, and how that like how I could use that awareness and that information to exponentialize what I'm capable of, and really and get into way more allowance of me, which I think is a huge part of, I know for me it was like so essential. I wasn't going to even begin to explore my um X-Men-ness without having allowance of me being different, you know Um, so just having these conversations where it's like, hey, here's some, different ways that people function that are more kind of in the X-Men universe, and being like, oh, so not everybody does even notice the trees or hear what the plants are saying, and even like your plants, like what you will hear from your plants is so different than what somebody else would hear. And that's just so cool.
Totally. It's such a gift. It allows you to have the possibility of being you actually being a gift to you, rather than trying to, change and fit in and, replicate the way that somebody else is, which is such a struggle, like how many of us have been trying to fit in for so long, thinking that that was even possible, you know? And then as you start to just kind of relax and let go of that, whether you fit in or not, there's still a place for you if you will allow it, if you will receive it and like stand up for it and own it. And then it gets to be fun to be like, wow, maybe nobody else is talking to the plants, but I am, and
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And what, how lucky am I to be able to be me? And
Yeah.
that's such a stark difference from what's wrong with me that I'm not like that other person,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It's like a polar opposite, well, it's just like a totally different universe. And that like the enjoyment, that's the thing is like, and I feel like I'm even just stepping into that more lately, than ever. just it's like there's the allowance of who we are, and then there's the enjoyment of who we are, you know? And like we have this Flavors of Insanity class coming up in Access, as well as the X-Men class this weekend. I'm like, it's like crazy month and in Access, like enjoy your crazy, you know? And it's been so cool just looking at like, wow, I really have so much insanity that I actually have never given myself permission to really fucking enjoy. And as soon as I realized that, I just started enjoying my insanity, like, and being like, wow, like, I'm so, like, nobody else sees things this way, you know, like the plants everywhere, or, you know, whatever, like you were talking about the X-Men brain or whatever. Um, and it's like, that just, that's just been so fun to be like, wow, you know, I not only can I be an allowance of me, but I can actually really have fun being different.
You know, this that reminds me of it. I grew up um, around with the traumas that I grew up with, and people who were having a hard time being them. You know,
Yeah.
and I thought that the way that I could show people that I loved them and cared about them was to be sad when they were sad, and they were sad a lot of the time. And so I thought that I was sad. And then I remember there was one day that I realized, hey, wait a minute. I get my own sense of humor more than anybody else. Like, I don't have to wait even a second for me to laugh at my own jokes. Like, I know the whole punchline. Maybe I don't even have a punchline, but I know something's funny and I can laugh at it. And so then I just started to play around with laughter. And, you know, like I remember there was a while where I would wake up, and even before I'd fully woken up, I would be like, how many jokes can I tell today? How many jokes can I laugh at today? And there is that thing where it's like, if you watch stand-up comedy or something like that, there's that shift in perspective that a comedian can give you, where they tell you this kind of mundane story about just what occurred for them, but they shift it a little bit. They show you they're crazy. They just spin the perspective, and it changes something that could just be every day into something that's really funny. And I
Yeah.
just love that, which is that thing of getting to allow your perspective to not only be something that you're like okay with, but that you enjoy, that actually brings laughter to you, you know,
Yeah.
allows you to be a source of joy, or like a fountain of joy, just laughing by yourself with everything that's around you. It's like it bubbles out, and it's just such a cool thing to be able to play with the enjoyment of your own perspective. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I mean, that's a actually like a an X-Men, you know, superpower is having this quirky, bizarre, sometimes fucked up in a great way sense of humor, you know, and you know, perverted or whatever. I love I've changed so much in access classes over the years from laughing, you know, things that are just so funny and not taking ourselves seriously at not taking anything seriously, you know, and that's like the X-Men wheelhouse, you know, because X-Men don't know how to do significance. They don't know how to do seriousness. They just perceive it in the world. And then they're like, well, I guess I need to do that and be that in order to fit or make people around me happy or whatever, you know. And it's like there's so much lightness and non-significance and joy and humor underneath it all for a lot of people. That's just like so fun to be around and so fun to be, you know.
Yeah, and it's really cool too, because there's just this sense of like, um, to be tickled by something doesn't have to be linear. You don't have to make it logical. You don't have to go A plus B equals blah blah blah. You know, you can kind of jump all around and have this sense of like, oh, that reminds me of something that happened when I was 5, and like I just heard somebody else do this, and so you're kind of like taking this whole universe of being with everything, and then allowing that to move through you as this joy that doesn't make sense, you know, but allows your being to like express itself in this way that is life-giving to you and
Mhm.
can be contagious too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh,
The laughter
yay.
of X-Men.
What's that?
The laughter of X-Men.
Yes, like truly such a gift. And even if like, I mean, I think about Dane here, like he's run the clearing so many times. Everything that doesn't allow you to laugh at all my jokes, destroy and uncreate it. And I laugh at all of his jokes. I'm like, that clearing has really worked, because I so enjoy seeing people be crazy, enjoy themselves, crack themselves up. Like when somebody cracks themselves up, it cracks me up. I don't have to get it or like have it make sense to me. It's just fun to be around really, people that function from so much like less judgment or no judgment, it's like, that's when people start to be a little bit more like the plants and the trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So more of that in the world, please. Yeah. Cool. Well, tomorrow there is, depending on when people see this, but it's February 6th. Or no, tomorrow, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. See, X-Men also don't know time. So I'm like, pretty soon, there's going to be a brand new X-Men class, live in Texas and online, with Gary Douglas, Rachel O'Brien, Alison Cox, and Arthur Wood. And I'm so excited that there's like a whole new X-Men universe opening up right now that is very cool. And as you know, I'm an X-Men facilitator, and it's so exciting to me. It's like, we have such a capacity to be aware of the future, and when the future that you're aware of is not happening as an X-Men, sometimes it can be like, God damn it, what's going on? And now it's here. So I'm really excited for this, and can't wait to see where we go, what we open up, and what's available in the world afterwards. So
Totally, 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 totally. This class has been speaking to me for a while, and I'm just so grateful to get to be a part of it.
yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you for bringing your X-Men beauty and lightness and plant yumminess as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, thanks everybody now and in the future watching this, and see you somewhere in the world or online sometime soon.
Good. Bye.
Bye.